In this video, I wanted to go over assignment 13, creating a crew schedule. So I want you guys to download and save in your workbook this template and label it as crew schedule. The purpose is to prepare a 3-day schedule for variable employees based on a sales forecast. The operation is of a fast food type located in a college town, with the variable employees able to interchange into the various positions. There are 2 full-time employees, Bob and Tammy, and then 8 part-time employees. So some scheduling guidelines. There are no split shifts allowed, so they can't just work for lunch and then come back and work dinner. It needs to be a solid shift. Full-time employees always work 8 hours a day and are given not given split shifts. Part-time employees work at least 4 hours a day and no more than 8 hours a day. Part-time employees are limited to 20 hours per week for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The minimum number of employees allowed per shift is 4. The maximum is 5. Dinner shift on Sunday is the only exception to these rules. Dinner shifts on Friday and Saturday should always have 2 full-time employees on staff. Now, some employee scheduling constraints. Tammy needs to have Sunday off. Jamil cannot work past 7 p.m. Carl cannot work after 3 p.m. except on Saturdays. Lee cannot work after 3 p.m. on Fridays. Barb can work on Saturdays and Sundays only after 7. Miguel cannot work between 11 and 3 p.m. 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. Pete is not allowed to work after 7 p.m. Paloma is not available on Sundays. And Jean is available for any shift on any day. So I like that the book, this is where it came from. Oh, I thought I had it on here. It came from the workbook. It's on page 256 is where this came from. What I like about this is it takes apart the more challenging side of scheduling, and that's your employees' constraints and their availability. So a lot of this isn't as much as the math, it's just getting people in at the right time that they can work. So employee pay rates. Full-time employees are $10 an hour, the part-time is $8 an hour. The budget target needs to be 25% or less. And then down here we have the sales forecast for those 3 days broken up by 4-hour time blocks. So over here I already have, this is the template that you guys have. So I have the template of what these tables should look like, and then the questions down below as well, and we'll go over that as soon as we go over the table. So the first thing I did was make the scheduling constraints a little bit easier to read. So I just got a scrap piece of paper and wrote Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the things that people can do. So you can see Miguel can't work Friday and Saturday. So having this laid out by the days might be easier for you to see the scheduling. It sure does make it easier for me. I'm going to shrink this up just a little bit so we can get a more full look over here. So for the table here, I have it broken up by the days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then the hours, labor, total labor cost. So all this that's in here is going to help answer the questions below. So we have number of staff per shift, total of hours per shift, and then budget and total dollars per shift. So we'll start with Friday. So I already wrote these in just for time's sake. But the first thing we should do when we're looking at this is we need to figure out our budget first. So actually, if you want to take a step back, and if we look at what the book says about scheduling. If we start on page 240, there's a lot of steps to follow. The book does not really, or the example that the book gives doesn't really go with it. The only thing we would be doing is step 1, determining the total available labor dollars. So that's what we're doing here, and that should be the first thing you do for each day, each shift. So we know we need a 25%. So just start with our equals and times the 25%, or 0.225. And then we look back at our sheet and we know that we have projected the sales forecast of $550. So then times the 550. So we have a total of $137.50 to spend on labor for this day. So I already threw some people in here. These are the correct people that can work. So this does give you guys, watch the video, it gives you a little leg up on who can work. So how to fill the rest of this in. So this is pretty easy. The staff per shift, we already know there's 4. Obviously you need to figure it out first. And then total hours. So we know it's a 4-hour shift. We have 4 employees. So that's just 4 times 4. So we have a total of 16 hours that we are using for this lunch period. I want to figure out labor costs. These are all part-time employees. We know we can't work any full-time because the full-time needs to be during the dinner rush on Fridays and Saturdays. So let's go ahead and put equals. There's the 4 hours times their wage. So 32, and since since the formula is already in there, we can just drag it down. And then we have our total dollars. Just click down here. Oh, it's shrunk up. I can't see. Let's slide it over a little bit more. And get that auto sum. It automatically pulls up those. Enter. So now we know we spent $128. And we were under budget. So if you'd actually do this first, if you were to take that formula, because they're all 4-hour periods. So we can just take equals the 4 hours, multiply by that box. So it's going to be empty now. But if you pull these formulas over, and as you start entering in the people and their hourly wage, it will start to fill up the numbers, and you will be able to see if you're staying on budget. So if we do all that first, now the formula is in, and then when you come back over here and figure it out, so it's 0.25, that's our percentage that we want to keep it at. Oop, 2 didn't make it. Come back over. We're allowed 900. Or we're budgeting 900 in sales. Oh, biscuits. All right. 900. So look, we already have our budget in here. And then the numbers are automatically going to start filling in once we start filling in with people. And then you'll know before you even get there if you're over budget. So like I said, I would start with this, putting this formula in all the boxes, all the way down, and then start putting in your budgets through all these. And then look back at what the constraints are and then where you can put in people. And then once you're done with that, when you get it all filled in, what is the total for labor hours for each day? And you fill it in here, so it's going to be easy because we already filled out a lot of the information already. Just add them up. And how much is the total labor for each day? So I already put in You just need to fill in the blanks here. For this one above here, I want you guys to show me what the formula is. Tell me what two numbers you're dividing first. Or, sorry, multiplying. And same for down here, which ones you're dividing. And then do it for the days of the week. And the last, what is the average labor cost percentage for all 3 days? So I hope this is a little bit clearer for you guys. If you have any questions, please email me and let me know how I can help. Thanks, everyone.